Hola familia, this is the second part of our water bottle, and in this second part we are gonna go for the leather work. As I said previously, I'm not very skilled in this, so possibly a process that is pretty easy for a leather craftsman. For me was really, was a try and error and everything. Two things that I like is that I was able to leave the recesses for the chuck, and then fulfill it with two circles of leather stamped. So it looks good. I'm pretty proud of it. In the other hand, this is not from the same leather. This is actually sewed leather, I guess it calls. I didn't want to cut this one because it's too thick, and this is easier and it looks pretty good. And then the beads are also not made by me. You can buy for $3 a bag full of it. So all this process was try and error, and I was learning along the process. So I know that I make a lot of mistakes. I just hope that you understand and enjoy it, because why not? I promise you, it's a good idea to give a shot, and it's interesting and funny. So, let's go, and I'm gonna show you what I did. Come on.
Well, I'm going to begin with a strap of leather that I'm gonna mark to have exact size for what I'm gonna first do the round, and this piece of paper have 320 degrees angles, so it's gonna help me locate the hangers for the belt. Okay, then I go to a piece of leather and first a straight cut, and then with the caliper I'm going to establish the width that I need. Okay, there we go. Now I can have this stripe, it fits, so I can cut it in length and mark where the two pieces to hang the belt are gonna be. And for these pieces, it's just two small pieces of the leather stripe. I'm gonna use just rivets. I don't want to get involved in sewing right now. So 2 holes, and then I'm gonna transfer these holes to our leather stripe. And after market, I just shorten the distance a little bit to have room for the steel ring that I'm gonna insert there. Okay, now for engrave the leather, you have to dampen out with water a little bit. This way the stamps are gonna stay, when dries are gonna stay on the leather. Okay, and now with a compass, we can make a line that are gonna act as guides for the stamping process. Okay, and then I dampen again, and with a stamp and a hammer, slightly hitting every time, we are gonna look for a pattern that in this case is an easy one. I don't want to get it complicated yet. It will be in the future when I get a little bit more experience, increase my skills, but this is gonna look nice. As you can see, it's not difficult to achieve a nice pattern. Of course, it's not perfect. I'm not trying to do that. This needs practice as everything else, and I don't have it. And the most difficult thing, or the most difficult part, I figure out that is have the exact amount of water in the leather, because when you have it, the stamps are very clear and crisp, but if not, it don't work. In here I use a rivet, but then I figure out that I didn't polish the edges, so I rid out of it and use the tool we did a couple of weeks ago. It works perfect. It's just a matter of wet a little bit the edge and then polish it with slightly pressure, and it leaves a perfect edge. And then I'm using it to rub over the piece, and it's gonna give us a used look. I'm not gonna dye it or anything else. So now I'm mounting it again with the rivets. There's the steel ring and another rivet, and as you can see, the result is not bad at all. I know that I have to practice a lot to achieve some even close to be good, but in this case it's gonna work good enough. After stamp the leather, it is a little bit bigger. As you can see, it fits, but now before glue it up, I have to attach the belt, because if not, I'm not gonna be able to use the hammer. And after do that, I'm using here just contact cement, which I think is appropriate for the leather. As I say, this is is beginning, just beginning my learning curve, so I know that I'm making mistakes, or I will figure out how to do it in a better way in the future, but this time the result is not bad at all. So okay, now the contact cement, as you know, you have to leave it for a while. When it's not tacky, you can attach both pieces, and they're gonna be very, very it's gonna work very well. Now it's a matter of get a little bit of tension and press it, and as you can see, it is a little bit bigger now. I have to cut just a little bit on the entrance of the mouthpiece. Here we go. And then I'm gonna make a little bit of epoxy to attach the mouthpiece. There we go. I'm gonna use a clamp there, but there's no need to record it. Okay, here I'm using a little bit of leather stripes that are in that roll, and a couple of beads. The beads, the big one is just to have, just for decoration. The two small ones are gonna act as knots. I'm gonna insert one on each side and then go through the steel ring and insert the end on the other bead. Then just a drop of CA glue is gonna be enough. This is not gonna go anywhere, and our let's say bottle stopper is gonna stay, and we are not gonna lose it. And now comes, which was the tricky part. Do two circles. Seems that it's easy, but it's not. You mark it, and I mark it here on the leather, and I mark just in case are different diameters, but are not, so I mark 1 and 2. But the thing is, I'm gonna try to make a flower or something like a flower, so here I dumped the leather again. Then I begin with a flower stamp in the center, and some other tools just to go around and form our flower, to call it somehow. different stamp, a little bit smaller. And then another one. I'm going to use another stamp to just get a little bit of 3D shape, you know, like a shadow or something like that, a depress in each leaf. The result is not bad. I like it. The tricky part now results on what I didn't think that is that tricky, is cut it in a perfect circle. It is not easy, I promise you. I try with different cutters. The end result, then I retouch it, and the end result was not a perfect circle. And it will transfer to the final piece. This tool I have just used is to write out of the sharp edge. And here is the tool we did. So we wet a little bit the edge, and then the tool works perfect, and it's much more comfortable and easy than do it by hand. And the result is amazing. I'm really glad of it. Now again, contact cement. Okay, here we go. Time to attach it. And this is, if the circle is not perfect, the result is not going to be perfect. And then I'm rubbing it again with the wood tool to get the look of used. All in all, I'm happy with it. I'm proud of the job. It was my first one and I like it, but of course there is a lot of things to improve. Here you have some stills. I hope you like it. As always, any comments, any doubts, or any suggestions, you can leave it down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like it, thumbs up. And if anybody can and want help with the channel, there you have a Patreon button where you can help somehow. So I will see you next week with another project. Bye bye.